the head of Global Humanitarian Mission of Love and Service, Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, government ministers, and we acknowledge the presence of the Minister for Health, Dr. Wangaya Bete, and also the Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests from around the world, our visiting international surgical team, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings on this momentous day, the Gift of Life celebration, which will celebrate the children whose lives have been changed forever by these free heart surgeries at the Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Children's Hospital over the past week. 10 days ago, on the 27th of April, we witnessed the inauguration of the Sai Sanjeevani Children's Hospital. What an incredible day that was. But to imagine that from the 30th of April, in a short span of 8 days, 27 lives have been saved already for children with congenital heart disease. Many of these children and their families had no hope, but Sanjeevani Hospital Fiji gave them hope. As Bhuvna mentioned earlier, the youngest child operated is only 7 weeks old, and the eldest so far is 13 years old. So one more day of surgeries tomorrow, and then the visiting team will slowly depart as the children get discharged from the hospital. A total of 30 surgeries will be conducted during this visit, saving the lives of 30 children and giving their families much relief that their precious children will be able to live a normal life, to run, to play, grow, attend school, and become useful citizens in society. And they may feel inspired to help others who are in need when they grow up. The 22-member pediatric cardiac team has been led by our brilliant surgeon, Dr. Sean Setti, who is the Larry and Helen Coach Foundation Endowed Chair in Pediatric Cardiovascular Surgery, Medical Director of Pediatric and Adult Congenital Cardiac Surgery, Chief Division of Cardiothoracic Surgery at the Long Beach Medical Center in the USA. Now, the team consists of the best medical professionals from around the world, working in institutions such as the Stanford, Long Beach Memorial, Shriners Hospital for Children, Colorado Children's Hospital, Queensland Children's Hospital in Brisbane, the Royal Hospital in Oman. We owe it to these amazing team that performed the inaugural surgeries at the Sanjeevani Fiji Hospital and for volunteering their time and their skills. Now, they all work in different hospitals in different parts of the world. However, when you witness them in the operating theatre or in the wards, it seems that they've been working together for many, many years. They've worked tirelessly for more than 12 hours a day, just to make sure that our children receive the best possible care. And you know, most of them have never been to Fiji, and they have no connection to Fiji. But they came here because they have compassion for our children. No amount of thank you is enough for the kindness and generosity that you have shown to our children of Fiji. I salute you. You are our heroes. And you've also worked hard to start training our local medical professionals by transferring your knowledge and your skills. And Sai Prema Foundation Fiji and the Sanjeevani Hospital will forever be grateful to each and every one of you. And we hope that you will come back to Fiji again and again. Now, there are so many stories that I can share with you about the children, about the families, but I will just share a few that are quite significant and that have had a very significant impact on these children in terms of giving them a gift of life. Now, our youngest patient, who was 7 weeks old, was born at the CWM hospital. And when this baby was only 3 weeks old, He presented to one of the health centers in severe respiratory distress and then had to be retrieved to the CWM hospital. And this baby was on life support for a few days. The oxygen levels were quite low, they were in their 80s, and an echo or a scan of the heart was done for this baby. And the baby was diagnosed with a congenital heart defect. It was a total anomalous pulmonary venous return, a TAPVR, and in this condition, the full blood vessels that carry oxygen-rich blood to the heart from the lungs, they aren't connected correctly. And this is a critical congenital heart defect, and it requires urgent surgery within the first few weeks of life. Now this baby was very fortunate that the team was here just in time to perform his surgery. Otherwise, he would have lost his battle to life. Now this week has been quite hectic and it's been busy with the surgeries, but it has given us so much joy. Seeing the beautiful smiles on the faces of the children and the parents who've been given a new lease of life. We all know that when a child suffers, he or she doesn't suffer alone. It's the suffering of the whole family. And for us here to be able to alleviate some of this suffering has made it all worthwhile. I've been really privileged, to be in the operating theatre, to be in the intensive care unit and the wards, to observe these surgeries, and it's really been a blessing. And Dr. Sean Sethi, who's sitting here, he's so amazing, and he makes the very, very complex surgery appear like it's so simple that it's just a walk in the park. And the team in the operating theatre, they're so efficient, they're so incredible. Each and every one of them, including the anaesthetist, Dr. Scott Stenquist. So they're all seated up in front here. And Dr. Ranga, they're all so efficient. The theatre nurses, working on their feet for long, long hours, making sure that everything's there, everything's ready so that the surgeries can happen. The intensive care unit is also a very important part of the journey of the child, because they go from there, from the operating theatre to the ICU. And Dr. Monica Gupta, she's been making sure that these children get excellent post-operative care. And she works with a team of very dedicated and hard-working intensive care unit nurses. They've been working long 12-hour shifts, doing day and night shifts. And they've worked really hard, and we've received such excellent outcomes for all of our children. And the hospital, it's such a complex area, because you have your clinical spaces, but then you've also got your laundry, your kitchen, your CSSD, all the other support services, and the cleaning, and also we're so grateful to all the staff who've manned all of these different areas, and to keep infection control at bay. We're also fortunate to have a pediatric cardiologist, Dr. Gregory Adamson. He was here and he screened the children. Unfortunately, because of work commitments, he can't be with us today, but we're remembering him as well, and we thank him for all his hard work. Throughout this week, I have spoken to so many parents and received so much of feedback, a lot of positive feedback about the care that they've received. And one thing in common was about, how kind and compassionate the staff were. They just couldn't believe how amazing it was. Everything was explained to them. They understood what was happening to their child. They were really happy with what food they were given, the meals, and some of them even said that they were given hotel quality meals, which was a real compliment. And they also felt that every need of theirs was met. So I sincerely thank each and every one of you who was involved in making their journey a wonderful journey. It is a scary thought when a parent has to give their child into the operating theatre, and you've all made it much easier, so thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, look, this is just the beginning of the Sanjeevani journey, and we have so much more work to do to ensure that we emerge and become the most important pediatric cardiac care center in the Pacific. And very soon we'll embark on screening of children in the South Pacific Island countries. And we hope that before our first anniversary, we're able to provide free surgeries for some of these children from our neighboring Pacific Islands. And in just a few short months, we're looking at another surgical visit by a team from Sanjeevani, India. And similarly, we'll continue with very regular surgical visits. And at the same time, we'll work on building local capacity. My sincere gratitude also to Dr. Isabelle Veretti. She's the head of Department of Pediatrics, for all her support. And I just also like to acknowledge Dr. Marianne Parai. She's our pediatric consultant here from CWM as well, and she has sincerely assisted the surgical team in all the efforts and all the planning. She also received a scholarship by the foundation, and she went and did an attachment at the Sanjeevani Hospital in India in non-invasive pediatric cardiology. Also a very big thank you to all the CWM hospital staff and the Ministry of Health staff who are attached with the visiting team. And on behalf of Sai Prema Foundation, Fiji, and the Sanjeevani Children's Hospital and all of us here, I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to all the individuals, all the organizations, and all our special guests from around the world who have supported Sanjeevani Hospital, Fiji. Without each and every one of you, this would not be possible. So a big round of applause for each and every one of you. And on this special day, it's also my birthday. And I'm so fortunate to be celebrating it with all these beautiful children, the amazing surgical visiting team, and all of you. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.